Start recording. So, what's the section on formulas? There's going to be two types of questions. One type of question will be plug and chug. So with formulas, there's two types of questions. There's plug and chug. And then there's solve. Now plug and chug is pretty simple. Here's an example of plug and chug. Area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times the height. That is what we call a formula. That's a formula. What is the area when A or B is equal to 5 and H is equal to 12? So what do? Plug and chug. So all you do is A is equal to 1/2 times parentheses times parentheses. 5 goes here and 12 goes here. What's 5 times 12? Everybody should know 5 times 12 in their head is 60. And what's half of 60? 30 square feet or whatever, square meters, square inches, whatever. That's a plug and chug. Now most of you know how to do a plug and chug because you've done them since what? 7th, 8th grade? Okay, especially in a science class. Plug the numbers in, get an answer. So most of you know that, right? I hope you do. Then what's the second one? The second one is where you solve for a variable. Solve for a variable. Meaning that you're going to have to use your algebra to solve for a variable. The only thing you need to do here, make sure, number one, is you get rid of any fractions or decimals first. Why? What will fractions and decimals do to it'll complicate it. So when you're talking about, when we're going to spend most of our time on 6.2 today on these type problems, okay? Because these, you should know how to do these. We're going to do a couple today and spend a little bit more time in the second one, okay? I am recording, right? Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to erase this and see what the slides say because I don't write the slides. Let's see what the slide says. And there we go. Evaluate. What does evaluate mean? Plug and what? Plug and chug. To evaluate and determine mean plug and chug. Okay, I'm not going to, that's got written out, I'm not going to, I is equal to PRT. That is a formula. Anything that has a bunch of variables in it, what's the difference between a formula and an equation? A formula has more variables than it has numbers. Capiche? Usually if you have one number and 4 or 5 variables, that means it's a formula. Okay? Fatima, what a name. Fatima borrows 4,000, oh gosh, I got to tell y'all something funny. You know how I go on about the Russians and the Ukrainians? I got a note from YouTube that says I was making fun of Ukrainians. You know what I did? Deleted it.
Did you get demonetized?
What?
Did you get demonetized?
I guess. I don't know. It says if I do it 2 more times, they're going to take my video off.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I know. I was being sarcastic. And they even said...
Why is YouTube watching your videos? All the videos.
I don't know. They might have arbitrarily pulled it. They might have, just went through and picked some, I don't know. Anyway, Fatima, I'm going to name my third born, I'm going to name it Fatima. Fatima borrows $4,000 in simple interest at a rate of blah, blah, blah. Well, you don't know how to do it because you don't know a formula. They didn't put the formula on here, so we're going to pull up the formula here in just a minute, probably. Okay, there is the formula. And what do? Plug and what? Chug. So write that one down. Just write down I is equal to PRT, and you give it P, R, and T, and you plug and what? Chug. And yes, you should use a calculator on this one, unless you're Rain Man. You're not going to know what 0.029 is to 12,000. Okay? So you're going to have to use a calculator on this one. I'm going to let you work on that one and take a break because I got to go down and get me a Diet Mountain Dew before I get a headache. I'll be right back. I should work first. Be right back.
Sheer racing game. I'm not sailor about.
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry, I started getting a headache yesterday. When I started getting a headache yesterday, and I didn't drink any caffeine, and buddy, by about 4 o'clock, I had a monstrous headache. So when I feel a headache coming on, I make sure I drink some caffeine. Sorry. So the only thing I need to tell you here is you need to change the 2.9 into what? 0.029. Remember I told you. You cannot put percentages into a formula. You have to change it to a what? A decimal. Did everybody get 348? Okay. That's an example of a test question. No problem. Again, I don't foresee a lot of people having problems here. I'm having problems. There. And I'm not going to, 3 years, you multiply that by 3. I'm not going to, okay, that's great. Okay. I'm not going to go into all this. Here's another one. Okay, the formula for the volume is V is equal to length times width times height. Write that one down. V is equal to length times width times height. LWH. So what is the volume? Okay, what is the width when you have 7 inches on the length, 3.5 inches on the height, and the volume is equal to 122. So this one, is it different? Yes. You're not just going to plug and chug. Here, you're going to plug, chug, and solve. Here, you're going to say 122.5 is equal to length times width times 3.5. Now, what is, somebody multiply 3.5, let's see if I can do it, 24.5, somebody check me. What is 27 times 3.5? 24.5 W, or W, depending on where you're from. And how do you undo multiplying by 24.5? Divide by 24.5. And somebody do that math on your calculator. And our width is equal to, what's the width? 122.5, what? 5 inches. Those are 2 good test questions. And the one I did as an example, 1/2 base times the height. That's a good test question. So make sure you can do all of those. Those are all simple questions. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Greek letters are used. You want you to write some of these down. You're going to see these in 120. Write them down. Oh. So write those down. And the reason I want you to write them down is because it doesn't hurt for you to know these, especially if you're going to be in college. Okay? The first one is mu. Looks like an M. Or some people say it looks like a U. Well, depending on how you're looking at it, to me it looks like a cursive M. Squished together. Okay? That's why, you know. Sigma is a 0 with a pompadour on top. Sigma usually means, uppercase sigma, capital sigma. It usually means add them all up. So when you see that sigma, that capital sigma, that funky E, that usually means add them all up. Delta is a O with a super pompadour on it. Uppercase delta, you see that usually in chemistry. Any kind of science, you'll see that uppercase. Delta means difference. Like if I'm 53 and you're 23, what's the difference? So that would be delta. Delta is usually for difference, meaning you're going to subtract. Epsilon, pi, everybody knows pi, 3.14. Theta. Theta is usually an angle. Write that down. Theta is usually an angle. Like if I want to find the angle of a triangle, I would call it theta. And lambda. Some of these you won't see until you're in calculus. But like delta, lowercase delta, lambda, and epsilon, you don't see until you get in upper level mathematics. Sigma, both sigmas, mu, you'll see in Math 120, which is probability and statistics. So everybody got those? Now the reason you need to write those down, you might see them on a what? On a standardized test. I don't know what they would ask you. I guess they would ask you, match up mu with the word mu and delta with the word delta, capital delta with the signal, I guess, I don't know. Now, the next formula you might need to write down, because some of you, the way it usually goes, I'm going to tell you how it usually goes. You take Math 155 and you get your 2-year degree and you graduate, and everybody's happy. And then you find out what, when you go to work with that 2-year degree, what do you find out? You could make more money if you have a what? Another degree, a bachelor's degree. So you come back to Tri-County, and guess what's the first class you need to take after Math 155? Math 120. And you're back in Hubert's Math 120 class, and the first formula that you see is one like that. Okay? So, that is a formula, and all you do is plug and chug. We don't have to solve for anything, just plug and chug. So I want to let y'all do that. Plug and chug. Oh gosh, I got to get this in me quick. Yesterday, I went home, I drank some caffeine, and I just had to lay in a dark room until about 4 o'clock, and it finally went away.
You don't drink coffee?
No, I tried. I try to drink coffee. I try. And I just can't. I'm going to be honest with you. There's 2 or 3 things I just haven't developed a taste for in my life. One, I already told you what one was, and that just don't work. And smoking, I've never developed a taste for that. Coffee and beef liver. I've never, and I don't care how much of a milkshake you make it. I just can't, I just don't like it. Milkshake out of coffees. People say they drink coffee. They don't drink coffee. They drink milkshakes.
I don't drink a milkshake. I just started liking.
Yeah, you do. What all is in your coffee that you get from Starbucks? Besides a half a cup of sugar, what's in
Coffee
it?
and creamer.
Coffee and creamer. That's it.
And caramel.
There you go.
Caramel sauce.
Now, people that do the black coffee straight, y'all hardcore, okay? I
That's
don't
all
know.
right.
I've tried that. It tastes like hot water to me.
You ever drink an
That's the good
espresso
stuff.
shot?
Huh?
Ooh,
No.
it's awful.
I've tried that.
I don't understand people that can drink black
I'm talking
coffee.
about just straight espresso.
I don't know how y'all do it. Now, if I make fun of people that drink black coffee, is YouTube going to get on to me?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, you can make
Ukrainian.
one. They won't care.
The Ukrainians. All right. So, Z, maybe we need to say sarcasm. Maybe we say sarcasm enough, it'll pop up on YouTube's radar, and sense of humor. Maybe they'll pull it up and maybe they'll, look it up.
That's too much common sense, Hubert.
Okay, I know. All right, parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses divided by the square root of parentheses. So what is X bar? 120. What is mu?
100.
100. What is sigma?
16.
And
4.
so that's going to be Z is equal to 20 divided by 16 divided by 2, which is 20 divided by 8, which is equal to
2.5.
2 point what?
5.
Whoa.
And that should be your answer. What?
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's just a lot of work. Kind of like following directions, right?
Right.
See, that's what's wrong with the Ukrainians.
Sarcastically.
Daughter texted me.
If calm down, they're gonna shut your YouTube channel down.
Go ahead. Y'all don't watch them anyway, so. No, you don't. Oh, my Lord. My daughter, I love my daughter, but she cannot, oh gosh, she cannot just call me. You know what she has to do? She has to write 15 texts.
Me, okay, me. It's a girl thing.
I think y'all are crazy.
I'm just saying.
I said 12 minutes.
If it takes more than 2 or 3 sentences, you should pick up the phone and call somebody.
Well, sometimes you can't do that.
Right.
Well, then you say, call me.
I hate doing this right here.
You put, call me.
Yeah.
Call me when you get out of class.
If I say yeah more than once,
Well, I know certain.
All right. You're not paying attention. 2.5.
amen.
We got it right. So let me erase my junk so you can, there. There it is. Everybody should have that. And again, this is not very difficult math. And the next one. What are subscripts? Subscripts, think of it like this. If I order 2 Ford pickup trucks, and I order them for my company, and I want them to be exactly the same, I want them to be the same color, white, and I want them to have vinyl floor, no carpet, and I want them to be work trucks, right? So I can take a hose pipe and wash them out. I don't want to have all the bells and whistles because I don't want electronics in the doors because it's a work truck. Okay? And if I order the same engine, same tires, everything, how will I know the difference between them?
Number.
The VIN number, exactly. So think of a subscript as a VIN number. Does the VIN number have any mathematical traits? No. It's just a identifier. A subscript is just like an identifier, just like an area code, a social security number, or a zip code. They're all identifiers. They do not have any mathematical value. A subscript says first temperature, second temperature. The first temperature would be T sub 1. The second temperature would be T sub 2. So make sure you know that, especially if you didn't invent them. Okay? Okay, here's where we get into the solve. Now write that equation down and solve it for y. And if you can do that, then you're good to go. And like I said, you're talking about 2 questions on the test. 1, plug and chug. 1, solve. Now this one says solve for y. So that means you got to get y, what?
By itself.
By itself. So anybody going to tell me what they're going to do first?
Plus 10.
Exactly. Get rid of that negative. Get rid of that 10. So 2x plus 5y. And what I do to get rid of minus and 10?
Plus it.
And if you do it on one side, you do it on the other, or you take it across the river, whichever one you like to say, and you get 10. Now what?
And then you subtract the 2x.
You get rid of the x term, and this is a plus 2x because there's nothing in front of it. So how do you get rid of a positive 2x?
Subtract.
You subtract it or you take it across the river, and it becomes 5y is equal to negative 2x plus 10. And now what do you do to get rid of multiplying by 5? Divide by 5. And y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 2. Anybody know where this comes from?
Oh, okay.
This is finding the equation of a line.
Isn't on this one like,
You're going to see this in 6.6.
aren't there ones where you have to do that, but then you have to go back and solve for x too?
Yeah. So,
I hated that. Yeah.
well, thanks for telling me. I'll put those on your test.
Okay.
Okay, in 6.6, you're going to see more of this, what we're doing here. For those of you that don't know, we're on 6.2. Okay? And they get y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 2. Now I'll erase mine, and let me go back one. So if you're online, why won't it go back? Okay, I don't know why it's not going back. For some reason, this thing is not working 100% like it's supposed to. For one thing, this is not supposed to come up when I'm doing a PowerPoint.
You did it.
Oh, is that
It's
it?
because you had it on the little hand. So,
Classes are-
No, this is not supposed to be here at all.
that-
Okay, there's the first part, and while you're looking at the video, you can pause it, and then there's the second part. But we're not going to stop there because there's some more problems that we can do that can confuse you on a test. Okay, let me go to the. What is so funny?
I like heard the noise. It was like singing.
All right, so I'm going to go to your homework and go to 6.2 and pull up some because they can make some nasty ones in there. And of course, y'all, okay, now 6.2 homework was up here a while ago, but now it's gone.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I
You
only
go,
see
Glenn,
6.1.
Sweet.
Don't worry about it.
My own
6.1's all.
Are we supposed to do 6.1?
No, we just go over it and then y'all just guess what's going to be on the
I don't
test.
know why you asked him that.
Yeah, we just guess.
We don't like questions.
No, I don't like questions that I don't need to cover.
That's it.
All right, let me go back and find out what's wrong with 6. There's 6.2 right there. Edit. Home. 6.2 homework. Somebody's already got into it. So is somebody doing it right now?
No, I don't have 6.2 on mine.
Well, somebody's doing it.
I'm doing 6.1.
Okay, is that the dates? Is this 2019?
Yeah.
Is it 10-2, 10-7? Today's 10-2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
This is
8 p.m.
Not AM.
It's supposed to be a.m. because it's not going to show up till tonight. I don't know why it does that. I know it's operator error. That's why it wasn't showing up. Okay, now let's go to assignments. That was operator error. That was my fault. Look there. Isn't it amazing what happens when you fix a nut behind the wheel? Good gosh, there's only 7 problems? We need to fix that. We need to make it about 17 problems. There's a prime example. Well, no, that's not what I want. Okay, that one gives y'all fits. So let's go ahead and do that one. So it'll be on the video for you. Miss Woodward's making all kind of noise.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Don't listen to him. We ain't gonna let him bully you.
I'm a bully. My headache's going away.
Mine's coming up. Because of you.
It's all my fault. So A, and I want to show you how to use your calculator here.
Hubert, you want to make that bigger for us blind impaired people?
I can't because I've got it full screen, so I'm going to rewrite it. A is equal to P times R1 plus R over N to the NT power. So, what is A? A is the amount of interest paid. Amount of interest paid. Now, the reason I'm telling you about this, I don't tell you about all formulas. This is what all your banking interest is based on. A certain derivative of this formula or this formula. It's called compound interest. Amount of interest paid. This is called compound interest. So this is one that you need to learn, not just for school, but for real life. Mostly savings accounts, IRAs, all those good things. In fact, I'll use an example on one of the Andy Griffith episodes. There was this guy, I can't remember his name, but he had a junkyard for a house, and they were trying to evict him off the property so they could clean up the house because it was on the county line, and everybody come into Mayberry. The first thing they saw was what? A junky house. So he got evicted, and the only thing he had of value was a savings bond. Frank Myers, that was his name. Frank Myers, he had a savings bond. Is everybody listening? Savings bond that was sold to him 100 years ago at 8.5% interest. And I believe it was for $100. Okay? Everybody with me? So the town of Mayberry, he cashed it in because he wanted to pay his taxes. Well, plug it through here. A is equal to 100. That's the principal. That's what was paid in. 1 plus R this is right here, is 8.5, which is what? 0.085%. So that's 0.085 divided by N is equal to 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And they probably, here they put N as 4. That means they paid every 4 months. But here, for N, 12 times what? 100. And that would be A is equal to 100. And we're going to take our handy dandy calculator out. I bet I don't have it, so let me go ahead and pull it out because I got to show y'all how to do this. Because a lot of people don't know how to use a calculator on this one. I know some of y'all invented the calculator. So I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator. I'm trying to find it.
While you're getting that up, I didn't want to interrupt you, but there's a student that called and was asking about joining the meeting. It's Nanette Banner.
Yeah, she's supposed to text me.
I told her I'd pass along the message. My job is done. Once again,
Thank you. Okay. So you got 0.085 divided by 12
Yeah.
plus 1 raised to the NT power, and that's 1200. So what did they owe Frank Myers? Not $100, but they owed a whole lot more than that. That's not right. It's supposed to be more than that. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, you get the point. You plug it in, you get the point. Let's go to the question, and let's plug it in. I've done something wrong on that one. Okay, there's the question. All right, so I'm going to erase all this stuff. And so what is P in this case? 4,000. That's the money that we plugged in. One plus, what's R? R is 6%, but we can't plug 6% in there. So what do we have to do? We have to change it to what? 0.06 over, what's the N? 4. Raised to the 4 times what? 7. So you put $4,000 in the bank that's paying it at 6% interest. What will you get after 7 years? So that's where we go to the handy dandy calculator. And we pull it up. It's hard to do with a mouse, just give me time. And we get clear. Now notice I'm doing the inside first. 0.06 divided by 4 plus 1, and that's the inside the parentheses. So I'm going to write that down. Now a lot of you are saying, why are you writing that down? Because this is where students get they get in trouble. Because for some reason, they don't know how to type this in. So I'm doing it bit by bit. The 4,000, and what was that? I don't know why it takes off the, what was it, 1.0 what? 1 point what? I'll pull it back up and then it'll disappear as soon as I, 1.015, 1.015, now it don't go away. Whatever. Okay, now we need to raise that to the 28th power. So how do you do that? You get the caret symbol. So here's the caret symbol right there. It's right below the clear button, right above the division button. It's called the caret symbol, K-A-R-E-T. Get the caret symbol and raise it to the 28th power. And hit enter. And that's going to give us 1.51, whatever. There it goes. Now it's doing it. 4,000 times 1.51722 blah 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 period. Now we're going to multiply that by what? 4,000. And that's your answer. Now what does that mean? 4,000. So at the end of 7 years, what do you have in the bank? Not 4,000, but what? $6,068.89.
There's rounds in there.
89 cents. Now that is a plug and chug problem that probably will be on your test. Now remember, you only talk about one question. So I'm going to type it in just to make sure I know what I'm doing. 6068.69 or 89. And we feel good about ourselves. So that's plug and chug. But that's not the one I'm looking for. And of course, we're out of time with our 10-minute class.
You got 9 minutes.
Okay, I got 9 minutes. Thank you for being honest. Okay, these are the ones. There we go, right there. This is a test question, and I like to pick this one. Why did I put this one on the test? It's got a fraction on it, and I want to raise the bar. I don't want to lower the bar. I don't want to give you all easy questions. That's called lowering the bar. So, A is equal to 1/3 H times R plus Z. Do we have any numbers to plug in?
No.
So if you don't have any numbers, what are you going to have to do? Solve for a variable. If you don't have numbers, then you've got to solve for the variable. First thing I'm going to do is what I told you. I'm going to clear the what?
Fraction.
I'm going to clear the fraction. I haven't even looked what I'm solving for. I'm going to multiply by 3 over 1. Why? Because I've told y'all in the last section, if you want to clear a fraction, you multiply through by the common what? Denominator. In this case, 3 is the denominator. So I'm going to put a 3 here, 3 over 1, and a 3 over 1. And then I'm going to rewrite that's the baby step I put in. A is equal to 1/3 H times R plus Z. Okay, 3A is equal to, what happens to the 1/3? Goes to 1, leaves H. R plus Z. Now there's 2 ways you can solve this. Let's go see what I'm solving for because I don't know. I'm solving for R. Now I'm looking back. Now I do that for a reason. You don't have to, do not hone in on what you're solving for first. If you have a fraction or a decimal in one of these, you need to clear it first. Now, I'm solving for R. There's 2 ways I can go about this. I can distribute the H and solve, or number 2, I can divide by H and solve. Either way, it's okay. Either way is fine. I don't know if the homework or the test will take it, but I will take it either way. Okay? So I'm going to do both. So I want you to write that down over here because I'm fixing to erase it. Either distribute the H or what?
Divide the H.
So I'm going to erase it here, and I'm going to distribute the H. Here I'm going to distribute the H, and I'm going to get 3A is equal to HR plus HZ. Now, how did I get rid of a positive HZ? So that's 3A minus HZ is equal to HR. Divide by H because I want to get rid of multiplying by H. And R is equal to 3 capital A minus HZ over H. Now that's one way to solve it. The other way is to divide by H. So this is distributing H. And this will be dividing by h. So if I divide by h, I'll get 3a over h is equal to r plus what? And now what? How do I get rid of plus z? So 3a over h minus z is equal to r. It's the same thing. Now that is one that you solve a variable for. How about what? Let's look at a nerd. That's the last, the only one is the last one. Time to go? Well, I'll get you started on it. Next one. Okay, this is a plug and chug. Huh? I'm not going to type it in, but I'll put 3 in there.
He wanted to see what it said.
Yeah.
They went with this method. But on the test, I'll take either answer. All right, number 7. At least I've done 2 or 3 problems out of your homework, so you only got 7. Ernie Rolfe, whatever, deposits $5,300 at 4% for 1 year. How much interest will he earn? What is the account balance? Okay, this is not a good question because there's simple interest and there is, it sounds like to me, a simple interest because they don't give you anything. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, it's just simple interest. I is equal to PRT. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't compound. So I is equal to PRT. I is equal to P, that's what you put in. R is the what? Rate. And T is the number of years. So I is equal to 5,300. What's R? Point what? 0.04. Now we know 10% is 530, so that's going to be 53. So that's going to be 212. Somebody check my math. Good job.
Oh, ask you another question.
What?
Ask another question.
Oh, and ask another question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. So we type in 212, we just add them together. So at the end of 1 year, how much money do you have in the bank? Somebody take 212, that's 5512. So at the end of the 1 year, if you haven't taken any money out, you add those two together, and that's what you get. Question?
The original and then how much the interest is.
Okay. Question? Alrighty. That's it. And I will see y'all. Y'all are good for 6.1 homework. and 6.2 homework, and then we'll go over 6.3 when y'all come back if I don't get any questions. All right, y'all have a good day.
I went fine.
Okay.
Homework this whole class period.
Okay, well that's a real good compliment to my teaching. I do any other things while I'm teaching?
I got all the notes down.
Oh, cheers. I'll be rude. Cheers, then.
This cracks me up.
And I'm a medicine, you but
You got to put a,